Good morning. It's 6 o'clock. I'm up. I'm out here waiting for an Uber today because I need to go to my storage and pick up a printer that I sold on Mercari and then Uber from my storage to work and then try to figure out if I can call FedEx or catch the FedEx guy at my work so that I don't have to carry the printer anywhere else. I was going to try to do it last night, but by the time I got home, I was so exhausted because I've had a crazy last few days. Wednesday, I was supposed to renew my week at the Motel 6. Well, I went down there 5:30 in the morning because I was trying to do it before I had to catch the bus for work. They told me that the weekly rate would now be $535 instead of, it was $350 plus the pet rent and tax. It was $497 what I was paying before. Well, of course I always have to speak up. I always have to try to get a deal, which I don't really inherently think that there's anything bad about that. And I wasn't rude in the way that I approached the matter, but I said to him, the weekly deal that I got when I checked in was this rate. And he said, because it was advertised on Craigslist. And he said, well, we're not doing that advertisement anymore. The prices are subject to change, which, that's the standard legal jargon. A lot of hotels say that, and that's totally fine. I do understand that. However, I pulled it up on my phone. The ad was still live, and it was posted 12 hours prior. So I said to him, well, the ad's still here. So are you saying that you can't honor the ad? And he said, well, I don't know who reposted that. That's from yesterday. It's not supposed to be up there. So what I'm getting at is it's just excuses. They're just saying stuff to not have to honor things. I asked if I could speak with the manager to see if the manager would honor it because, they have it advertised. They should honor the advertised price. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think that they should. He said, of course, the manager was not available until 10 o'clock. So I said, okay, well, let me go see what I can figure out and maybe I'll come back down. So I went to my room. I did some number crunching. I did some fucking anxiety attacks trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Really, it was only like, $40 something more. I should have just paid it and been done with it. But I've been really stressed and I want to get out of this hotel. I have work that I need to do. I have clients who are messaging me wanting orders, and I can't just set up my sewing machine and make a dress. Like, if you're a seamstress, if you're anybody who's crafty, there's always going to be something else that you're going to need for that project. And with all of my stuff packed and in storage, it's 10 times more trouble because I have to go in. I had to pack in a hurry, first of all. So to find whatever it is I need, if it's one thing, if it's one piece of elastic or one seam ripper, the thing is I'm going to be better off just going to Joann's and buying a new one than I am going to be trying to dig through my storage and look for whatever it is that I need. So it's presenting a real challenge right now. I need to be in a position where I can sit still and I can set up all my stuff and I can make money, but I don't have any money saved up for deposit. I'm literally just week to week what I get from my paycheck. And at this rate, for what I'm having to pay for a hotel, I'm not able to save very much at all. So anyways, back to the hotel story. I did all those number crunching. I decided to myself, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pay for 3 days so that I don't have to stress out right now. And that'll get me to Saturday. That will be able to give me time to find a ride, find another hotel, pack up all my stuff, yada, yada. Because I had a lot of stuff in the hotel because I wasn't expecting to move. I was expecting that I was going to be there for at least a month. And I already had been having problems with these people from the get-go. So I go back down there. It's, of course, a different girl. Every time I go to the front desk, it's a different person. And I tell her I booked my stay on the website, which I did, and it was $241 for 3 days. Now, side note to this story. The previous 3 days before this, I had paid for 3 days because I didn't have enough money to pay for another whole week. And I booked those 3 days on motel6.com the same way. Now, on motel6.com, there's a little check mark that says, I'm traveling with a pet. When you check that, it doesn't change your price. It doesn't say anywhere in the details that each property is subject to its own pet fee. It does have this spiel, but it doesn't say anything specifically that they could or couldn't charge you a pet fee, or that it varies by, but I think that's kind of like, you just kind of know that, but it's not really on their website, like in legality. So I go down there, I tell her, well, it says $241 is what it showed me on the booking on the website. She goes, yeah, but you got the pet fee. And she says it's snippy like that. And I mean, I'm not being rude or anything at this point, so I'm not sure why I'm getting the attitude. But I said to her, well, the last 3 days I just paid for, I booked it online as well, and it was $246. And Omar was the one who rang me up, and he did not say that I needed to still pay pet rent. So she immediately goes, okay, well, if you're refusing to pay the pet rent, then I don't have to extend you. Your dog has just already been a problem, and you're not following the rules. And she already had my credit card, and she was already getting ready to charge it. Because I was just like, okay, fine, I'll pay the $270. Because at this point, after they weren't going to honor the weekly rate, right, it was still basically $30 more. But at least it was going to be for 3 days, and I was going to get out on the weekend and not have to deal with their bullshit. So I was just like, here, go ahead, charge me, is what I had told her. I'm trying to shorten it here, right? So as she's just about to charge it, and then she says, your dog's been a problem, blah, blah, blah. And I says, how am I not following the rules? I mean, you guys told me that I had to get a crate for my dog, that I couldn't stay alone in the room. And so I went and I did that the very same day, and my dog's been in the crate. So I'm not understanding, like, what I'm doing wrong. And she was like, well, I just don't have to extend you, and she just, at that point, like, it was over for her. She was just having attitude. So I said, okay, so does that mean I have to leave? She's like, well, your checkout is at 11. So I was like, great. That's when the real fucking panic attack set in, because I don't have anyone to come and give me a ride. I don't have a driver's license right now. My van is broke down. And, this is the part where I've run into a challenge, because I'm just here. I'm just telling my truth. I'm just telling my real story. Sometimes circumstances are beyond our control. And no matter how hard we try, or no matter like which way we try to approach it, it just ends up going out of our control. A lot of people will have a difference of opinion and a difference of perspective. And maybe some people will think like I should have just not said anything, and I should have just paid the extra $30. But when you're struggling for every dollar and it matters, then I don't think there's anything wrong with questioning that, as long as you're doing it in a way that's respectful. And that's exactly what I did. I simply said, well, I paid this amount last week, and you still have that advertised. So why are you not, honoring the advertised rate? So look at my hair. Okay, I'm at work now. I got here early. My boss was like, what did you do, sleep here? I'm like, no, I had to go to my storage early and, get this printer so that I could send it off. So anyway, to finish my story, so the girl told me that I had to check out. And the real panic attack had set in, because like I said, I didn't have anybody to call. So I posted on this People Helping People group that I am part of, which has been super helpful to me so far. A lady from there was the one who brought me the crate when the hotel first asked me to put my dog in a crate. And another lady brought me a single burner cooktop. So people on there have been really helpful. So I posted right away, that I needed help. I needed a ride to get my stuff, out of the hotel and switch to a new hotel. But, I was on limited time, because this is like 9 o'clock by the time I had gone down there to talk to this second girl, and I was supposed to check out by 11. So I'm fucking panicking, and I have a bunch of shit in my room. So I'm just like trying to pack, and I'm trying to think, and then I try to stop and take a break, which I don't even have time to stop and take a break. I'm telling you, the anxiety level was so high. I ended up calling a couple of people on Craigslist. One guy said he needed like 4 days notice. The other guy I called, I should have known right away, because he was like, oh yeah, I can come right now, and it's only $25. Which is fine, that's a reasonable rate, but like they showed up and their car was looking really sketch, and I was so nervous about it. They seemed like nice people, And they did turn out to be nice people. So it just looked so sketch. And also, like, their car died while we were driving, and then he ran a red light. So I don't know if he wasn't paying attention or what happened, but I literally, like, was saying, oh my God, it's red, and he literally went through it, and I saw the other car coming from the other direction as we were approaching. I was like, this is it. My life is going to be over right now in this car with these two guys that I don't know, and it's full of all my shit, and I have my dog. It's exhausting. And there's people in my life who think that I brought this on myself, who think that I guess this is what I deserve. And I don't believe that. I'm stressed to the max. Everybody has differences of opinion. Everybody has different perspectives. And, we just, at the core, we need to find our humanity in this world and understand that everybody could be going through something. So that's what happened. And then, to top it off, while I was at the new hotel, I got a charge from Motel 6 that same night for like $91. So I was like, what the hell? Because I had gone back and I had been checking my Motel 6 app to make sure that any of the reservations that I had made were canceled right before, the girl was going to charge me. And I didn't see any active reservations in the app. So I was confused as to how I got charged $91. So I called the reservations line. I kind of told them a little bit about what happened. They put me on the phone with like an escalation. I don't remember what the exact title she was called, but it was something escalations, whatever. So she took I forgot what they call it. It's a complaint, but they call it a customer something. She took down all my information. And I told her honestly, I said exactly everything what happened. I said, and then when I left the hotel, I says, because I didn't have any ride or anything, I was trying my best to, fit all of my stuff in the available ride that I had, and I wasn't able to fit all of my stuff. So I literally left behind all my plants. I left behind my fabric steamer. I left some food in the fridge because also I didn't have any bags to put any of this stuff in. So even if I probably could have fit a few more things, but at the same time, well, I wasn't telling the girl all of this, I'm telling you guys this, but at the same time, like, even if I was able to take my plants without knowing where the fuck I'm going, and I'm not going to transport that stuff to my storage and then transport that stuff again into another Uber and then to the hotel when I have my dog and I need my basics of my clothes and stuff. And meanwhile, all of this is starting to process through my head of like, this is really it. This is really how people become homeless. And I see them with like their shopping carts full of stuff. And I'm asking myself, why do they have so much stuff if they have nowhere to stay? And they're literally going from place to place on the street. But like, I get it. As a society, we are built to like, want to have all of this stuff. And I guess it just doesn't really seem to matter what type of situation we're in. We just have this overwhelming, incessant need to just have stuff. Stuff somehow makes us feel secure. It makes us feel like we have something when we have nothing. So I can totally understand that. And I really literally don't want that to be my next stop. But at this point, like, sometimes living on a tent on the side of the river seems like a better option, a stress-free option. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it feels that way, but maybe not. I decided I just left all that stuff behind, and I told the girl, exactly what happened. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna call the property. And so she called them. She got back on the phone with me. She said that they were gonna refund me. She also gave me some very helpful and useful information. So she said that there is a maximum pet rent that Motel 6 can charge you per stay. So if you check in and you're staying like a month, they can only charge you a maximum of $75 pet rent. That's what this girl said, who was like some escalations manager on the reservations line. I had only paid $70. So if it was $75, then I would have only owed $5. But if it was $100, then I would have still owed the $30 that the girl was trying to get from me initially. But what I suspect is that based on the fact that they had this ad, they are trying to draw people in with that ad because $350 per week is cheap. That's cheaper than any other weekly hotel because the one I'm at now is $450 base price per week. So nobody else is $350. That's like the cheapest rate in town. So they're trying to draw people in, taking advantage of people knowing that they can't afford to pay much. And then after they're there, they tell them, oh, that's no good anymore. We're not posting that anymore. That ad's no good. And then they're still, if you have a pet, they're trying to still continue to get you to pay that pet rent every day, because I guarantee what they're doing is they're probably pocketing that pet rent money, because I had asked for a detailed receipt and it was not detailed out on my receipt. It just said like room charge. I even left that paper behind on the desk. But so this is what I find out from the girl. So she notified the property that they weren't supposed to be doing that in the first place. And that also, when it came to my reservation, why were they charging me when it's now like 9 o'clock at night when I was an absent? Because if you don't check in at 3 o'clock, like it technically should be charged then. So it just sounds like they were trying to scheme the system. So anyway, they offered to give me the refund, which I was really surprised about. As far as my stuff goes, I did try to call back. Nobody there seemed to know anything. Let me take your number. I'll have someone call you back. And then of course she called me back and I'm working, so I wasn't able to get to the call. And she was like, well, if you can come today before 2, that's totally fine, which I knew would be the case. I don't expect them to like at all try to work with me, because I can't come. I can't come until this weekend, and I still have to figure out if I can find a way to come, which I probably won't be able to. So I'm just calling it a loss. It is what it is. They're just plants. Even though I brought them from Tucson and my Brazil was so beautiful, but it is what it is. It's just a plant. Someone else, I guess, will enjoy it. That's pretty much been my week. Back to the scene of the crime. So I decided, after agonizing over what to do, because you know your time is very precious when you only have 2 days and you have to take the bus to get everywhere. Well, I wanted to get some groceries, but I decided I may as well just go up to the old hotel and see if my bike is still chained up outside. And then there's a grocery store right here down the street, because really the area that I'm in, there's nothing to go to. So no matter which direction I try to go to a grocery store, I may as well just come up here, and then I can, you know, try to see if my bike's still here. And it looks like it's here, and it looks like it might still be all together. So at least I salvaged something from this, because I'm not going to bother to ask them for the rest of my shit. They can just have fun trying to promote their weekly rate, because I keep flagging their ad. What? What happened? What happened? What happened? What? Just, I don't have any nuts, I'm sorry. Next time maybe I bring you some. Yeah? Okay. Anyways, this is, I don't know, some kind of private property, but it's so pretty walking by here. Just like with that afternoon sun coming in, makes me miss my camera. But look, you can see these houses. This house right here is my favorite. Oh my God, it's like straight out of a fucking movie. Look at how cute that is. I love it. Okay, so on to the good news. The other news. So last night I'm laying in bed. I'm trying to go to sleep, but I didn't sleep well last night. I got to bed really late because I'm just anxious. I have a lot of stuff in my mind. I really, really, really want to find a way to get out of this hotel. So a girl texted me at like, I don't know, it was 10:15, something like that, because I posted an ad on Craigslist under the rooms wanted. I did that like, I think on Friday. And I had gotten a few responses, but those were all like too far from me, or, you know, I just, for whatever reason, they weren't going to work. So this girl messages me, and I can tell by the way that she, you know, worded her text that she was just like kind of excited, full of energy, seemed kind of like a vibe to me. So I got excited. She was like, I have something that might work. I have a 3-bedroom house. It's 1.5 bath. It's just me. And I have a room that's set up like basically an office. And she was like, you're welcome to use that for like your sewing stuff, plus, you know, the room that you would rent. And so we went back and forth and talked, and she sent me some pictures. So I'm going to meet with her tomorrow night. She didn't tell me what the rent would be, but we'll see when I get there. Her and I talk and see like what we work out. But I'm super excited because this sounds like it could be the thing. Like, she's not too far. That area was like kind of the farthest out area I was trying to be because of bus. So it's still like an hour, but that's reasonable. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens, and I'll keep you guys posted.